All right, everybody, welcome back. It is another Kempire Radio exclusive. You know, we love this young lady. It's been almost 2 years since the last time she was here. She is the queen of hip hop in the South. I mean, she's one of the definitely the pioneers in hip hop, especially for the females. Please welcome back to Kempire Radio our girl Trina's in the building. What's going on, Trina?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me, guys.
We're so excited to have you back. You know, I was just re-listening to our past interview. It was like almost 2 years ago. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we have to have Trina back, of course, with the new single, F Love. You know,
Yes.
everybody's asking Trina, why did you decide, F Love had to be your first single for your new album? Because it's such a bold
I,
statement.
yeah, it sure is. It's either or. It's no black and white. It's either love or F love. It's like it's no gray area when it comes to love. You're either doing the right thing or you're not doing the right thing.
Mm.
I was in the studio on recording for my sixth album. We was going over a bunch of tracks. That's actually that's kind of the last track that I recorded. Within those records that I recorded. I was working with this Canadian artist. His name is Tory Lanez. He's from Toronto,
Mhm.
and he brought to me. He brought the sound. He brought a different sound, and I just loved it. And I said, wow. Well, we after I recorded it, my whole team was like, just we love this record. It's so dope. It's like reminded us of when we did Here We Go. And then I guess when I went in the studio with the record, it was just emotion, and it's just me. I'm a woman, and I'm independent, and I know how to handle my business, and I know, if something is wrong or something is right. And when I do songs like that, it's all about like experiences and stuff that could possibly be happening now or previous or just like for anybody that's in a situation that has ever been in a you in love and it's like okay this ain't working out, so I think everybody has had a period where they have been through the F love phase, and I'm not anti love of course because I love to love. It's just means that sometimes love is not always right. So, you have to go the opposite route. And, I'm a hopeless romantic, so it's always going to be love. But, at this moment, it was just F love. It's very slow. I'm sure I'm not the only person that probably feels like that. And, it's that was just a mode in the studio, the mood, and I record off of mood. I record if I feel like partying, if I feel like being in love, out of love, if I'm talking slick, if I wanted to be, melodic, romantic, whatever it is, I record off of mood, and that just kind of the mood was spicy and it's just real raw, and it just came out to be that record.
Definitely, and it's so funny because the last time you were here on the show, we were talking about, do you want to have a family? Do you want to get married and things like that? So I was a little thrown back when she was saying F love. I was like, no, Trina, don't say F to love.
No, I do want to have a family. I mean, I'm sure one day when I guess God is ready to say, hey, this is what you're going to do with your life. And after I'm working and I'm settled and I want to have a kid, I think I'm afraid, but I do. And a husband and a family and, do the whole family thing. Wake up in the morning, cook breakfast, have dinner, do the whole thing. I do want that. It's just, I want it to be right, though. I feel like as a woman, I know what I want. I've been in different relationships that I could tell from the relationship, from I could tell the good and the bad from it. I can tell what I've learned from it, and I can tell what I do, what I would like to do more of, and what I don't want a part of it. So I think for me, I go in giving 150%, and I always know if I'm not feeling that same thing, that's not good for me, and I'm not gonna settle for anything. So it's one of those kind of things. I know what I want. I'm not confused a bit about it, and I think with women sometimes with guys we don't really put the pressure to make sure they know what they want, and then you get caught up in this game, and the game is you have fun, you hang out, and you together, and all of a sudden you gone and it's over, and then you just don't understand where your life is, and you just like starting over. It's like nobody has time for that.
Do you think, and I have to say this, before I interviewed you last time, I had this persona, this image of who Trina was, and to meet and talk with you it was a total opposite. And you do have this persona of, because of the very sexual, lyrics and things like that. That do you think that has hindered you in relationships and really finding that one that you can settle down with and get married, and especially with a song like F Love?
I don't know. You know what it is? Because I always try to think about the situation. I always think of, in a relationship, what do I want out of the relationship? And I always go into it with that intent. I'm submissive and I'm very, I love hard. I'm very caring. I'm just a different person. I think as I guess from the previous situation that I've been in, I kind of felt like a little intimidation from the guys,
Mm.
point one of those things because the music is raw and it's just I'm this figure that everybody feels is like very sexual and or sensual and like and just straightforward. It kind of you go in thinking that well, this is what I'm gonna get out of this person, and then I turn around and I'm totally quiet and I, cook and I stay at home. I just do the opposite of what the average person or what the minds of a person would think because of, the persona of music. I don't think that's the reason. I just think that I guess with my girlfriend, I guess with my girlfriends or people that I'm around, I've seen like so many different relationships. Some of my friends married, some divorced, some have kids, some don't. And it's some of these things that when, with girls and women, we sit around and we talk about things like that, like love and heartbreak and divorce and how hard it was or to have a baby, just so much stuff. So I just kind of, if I'm in a relationship, I'm always putting everything I have forward to try to make it as peaceful and as understanding and as compromisable as possible because I know that my life and what I do in traveling and working and, so much and the opposite person the same, it's strenuous and it's a lot and you could get insecure and it's just so much stuff happens and it could put a lot of wear and tear. So I'm always looking for that balance. I feel like with the guys, it's always those things that, we are social media to the fifth power right now, and everybody, I think it's easy for people to reach out and meet people. Girls is DMing you, sending you all kind of naked pictures and all kind of call me when you get XYZ. So you go through the phases, and it's like you feel. I think with these guys, it's like anywhere you go, it's so easy to find a girl or to link up with this person or to be around somebody. And I personally, I just think like if that's what you want to do, be single. If you want to be committed to somebody, then you have to know how to fight temptation, and you have to know how to be committed and be loyal, or just be honest, or just just live the single life. And I just feel like for me, I don't know how to honestly make it work. I'm not going to allow you to be toxic or do something destructive in my life, and I'm going to fix it or try to, I don't know how, I think, because I feel like when it's all good, it's a beautiful thing. We started off and everything's perfect, and we may have a bump or two, and we may have to work a few things out, but if you start doing things that are not, that I guess most like to call mistakes, and I call decisions, then I feel like when you do wrong, that's what you wanted to do. You decided to do that. So I don't want to be the person always thinking in the back of my mind, can I trust you? Trust is a hard factor to build once broken. And I want to make sure, like, I don't know. And it's me. I'm just not going to settle for just the game. Like, I'm not gonna do that. If I don't feel like it's right, I promise you, I just scram. I don't know how to sit around and okay, well maybe you did something wrong or you cheated or you XYZ, and I'm gonna stick it out. No, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. I just don't know because I think I'm a little crazy. I start having all these extra thoughts, and I just start I cannot deal with that. I'm just like, if you honest, I'm honest. We make it work. If it don't work, then guess what? We going two separate ways. I'm sorry.
I think a lot of women can relate to everything that you just said. I feel like this is like we're looking for love for Trina right now. If you just tuned in, it's KEMPIRE Radio. It's a KEMPIRE Radio exclusive. We're here with Raptress, Trina, and her new single "F Love" is on iTunes right now. So make sure you guys go out and support it. And we're talking about, because the song is about relationships and love and things like that. We're talking about relationships, and we're talking about men being intimidated about approaching, first of all, a celebrity. Would you date someone that's not necessarily a celebrity? Like, what kind of guy does Trina like? Is he a block hugger or is he a businessman? Like, what are you looking for now at this point in your life?
I'm just somebody that knows exactly what they want, somebody that's very funny and smart and has their head on their shoulders and have probably already been through the games and have done all that. You get to the point where you get tired. It gets old. You've done it all. You did all the games that you want to do, and you kind of feel like, well, I really want to be with this one person. I really want to start a family, or I really want to make it work, and I want to have somebody to wake up to and come home to at night, or send nice romantic texts and get flowers and spend holidays. Like, that's the kind of situation that I want to be in. As far as a guy, I don't really have a specific type. Regular, I'm just a regular person. I think everybody's regular as long as you have a job. Like you just need to work. I'm not gonna date nobody that's sitting at home watching reality TV or like soap operas all day. You need to work for your job. So I think definitely that. I haven't been out and around to look. I'm not a dater. I guess I kind of meet someone this week. I continue to try to build and grow, and then we start being. I like to have a great friendship because I know if we could be friends, then the relationship probably have a chance, and that's usually how it happens for me. But just a nice guy, somebody's funny and that's real smart and that really knows what he wants, and like we could connect and we have something in common, and he has goals and he's wants success out of life forever, and just somebody that's family oriented and definitely just nice teeth and just smell good and seafood and just a good God fearing guy that's just I'm attracted to swag. That's my thing. You gotta have some type of swag.
Okay, we're getting more specific. But Trina, the guys that are listening, because we do have a mix of listeners that we listen, and there are guys that want to they want to know, can do I have a chance with Trina? Would you date someone that's that has a regular job, and when I say regular, maybe works at the the local bank, maybe makes around $50,000 a year, and I'm being generous with that amount because not a lot of people make that amount. Could you date someone like that realistically?
I would definitely date a guy. Date a guy that had a regular job. That was worked at a banker or whatever. I would. It just depends on the guy. It's all about it's all about what you do to catch my attention. I don't like no guy. I like to be the one that kind of just. I want to be the one really notice you and feel you out. I like a guy that's a little strong, forceful, kind of upfront, but not too, just not too much. I think for me, it just has to be your approach. It may be something you say. It may be the way you look at me. It may be something that that catch my attention after we say hello, if you speak, or it's just the way you make the approach. That's kind of what deteriorates, I guess, whether I would decide to talk to you. It's a lot of people I see, whether it's from the bank or the gym or the airport or wherever, and I've winked a couple times, and I've smiled at a few hellos and some nice guys, but I really honestly sit there and stop and let's exchange numbers and let's have a conversation. But just guys that I would see that was totally approachable, that has nothing to do with celebrity lifestyle or the media or or anything like that. Of course.
Would you be open? Because like you were saying, there are a lot of guys that get hit up on Twitter. Famous guys that get hit up on Twitter from females and things like that. Would you date someone that hits you up on Twitter?
No, I don't think so, because I'm not really. I don't like that's like internet dating, or the whole thing, how you. I wouldn't do that. Cyber, I'm afraid that's creepy.
If you guys just tuned in, it's another KEMPIRE Radio exclusive. We're here with Trina. Trina, first of all, thank you for being so open and talking about relationships. We talk a lot more about music, but since we were talking about the single, F Love is on iTunes, so make sure you guys support Trina's new single. But let's talk about this new album. I think it's been 14 years since your debut album. How much have you grown from that first album to today? How is it different?
I would say tremendously, because I know, I think every time, not just every album, every year, every day, you constantly grow. And I know for myself, I've grown so much from there, because I know when I'm in the studio now and I'm hearing music, the type of tunes and just the type of selection of songs that I choose, I know for a fact, if this was previous to when I first started, the label would have definitely said no. They just did not in the picture at all. They just saw raw, sexy, provocative. And I know now, it's just one of these things that I know I could talk sexy. I know I could talk provocative. I know these things. It was as growing up and you see certain stuff and you just out and you partying, you wild, you having a good time, and then you constantly grow, and then you grow into love, and then you grow into heartbreak, and then you grow into maybe falling out with your friend, or just any little thing. Everything to me is in an emotional piece of me growing. And I now with me in the studio, like I know, and I have my hardcore fans from day one that love the raw Trina day one, very first album, and they want to hear that right now today. And when I listen, I'm just like, whoa, who is that girl? Because that is not me. And it was just, I'll laugh at myself when we go back and play like the old records, and then I think about it like it's one of those kind of things. Like now when I record, I could say like the majority of everything I said then, but in a way that I'm not even saying it, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's what I grown to know in recording now with this record. It's a lot of growth. It's just a lot of vulnerability. It's a lot of emotion. It's you know, it's a sexy vibe. It's a lot of like I love to be on the ocean. I love the island. So that's one of the places I love to make music, and it's one of these things that it gives me this very wavy type of dance, melodic-y, singy type of feeling. It's just very grown and sexy, I would call it. So I know with this record, it just takes me totally into a new phase and a new place in my life, because if it was up to me, I'd probably have like an entire R&B album, because that's what I really listen. Melodic, sexy, slow music, or stuff that's meaningful, that I can learn from, or that I feel like it's you know, it's related to my life, and whether that's relationship or just you know how you grow and how you feel stuff and how things change and how you could be like, you know, in somebody's presence for years, and then you something go wrong, and then this person is no longer even a part of your life or your world or anything. So just so much stuff that just as growing as a woman, and you know, just changing and seeing stuff and knowing really what I want and how I want to feel. And I know with this record, I'm sure the fans will be able to tell the difference, because it's a whole different vibe. I mean, I'm still saucy, I'm sexy. I have those records where I have to, you know, let them know that, you know, I'm the real one.
Trina, you know, and one of those, you know, because you've been in the game so long, like I said, 14 years, that's a long time to still be a relevant artist, especially in female hip hop. But, you know, what would you say to the young girl that was just breaking into the business 14 years ago? What would you say to her, based on what you know now? What would you tell her at that point in her life?
Wow, I would just say, wow, it was 14 years back. Now, I mean, there's a gang of stuff that I would definitely do different, and I would definitely approach a different way, because I'm then when you're in it, you only see what you're in. And now that you saw it, you've done it, you've grown, you know, like this time it just feels like just starting. Because then I think 14 years ago, I didn't really know exactly what I was doing. I was just making music. I was a kid, and I was just having fun, and I was on tour, and I was just at every club and just like living in the moment. Now it's more of stability, and it's more about life, and you know, it's just a decision that you make. And definitely it's basic. I mean, the basic of it is really you just keep your eyes on the prize and just stay focused, and you always got to be determined, because this game it's wishy-washy, it's up and down. You know, it's music come out every day, there's a gang of new artists, there's a gang of different music, and you always are gonna, now we're so, you know, open to the social networking, you know, from the Instagram and the Twitters and the whole computer world, to where everybody's attention span is so short, you know, because there's so much happening. You can see so much within one day. It's not like back in the day when I first started, it was just all about like this one artist or a few artists. So, you know, I just think that it's really just like, you know, just choosing the right paths and making sure, you know, you try to just be as focused as possible, and you just really got to know what you want, because whatever you put into it is what you get out of it, and you're the one that really has to live and deal with it. And you know, you just want to make sure it's not a 9-to-5 job. It's really like a 24-hour job. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things. It's always, you know, stay circulating and stay developing and trying to learn new different things, and trying to really figure out who you are as yourself and what do you want to put out there. I know for me, I'm feeling that, so I would definitely think that, you know, back then there was not that much face, so it was just basically we in the studio, we just want a real sexy raw Trina album, and you just go and you just have to, you know, keep your mouth shut and just make music. And now I don't have to do that. I can do what I feel, say what I feel, and make the choices, and so now it's a voice that I could, you know, pick and choose and say yes or no, or do whatever I feel, opposed to then.
You know, I was just talking about, female hip hop, and I'm sure you get this question a lot, especially now that you're promoting your new single about, Nicki Minaj versus Lil Kim, and now Rod Digga versus Iggy Azalea. What are your thoughts on the drama between, of course, Lil Kim and Nicki Minaj, and the recent drama between Iggy Azalea and Rod Digga?
Oh wow! I haven't even heard about that. Um, I guess it's always these things with, I guess, the women, and I think some of it is really kind of blown up with like just the media and the size of the fans and everybody's rooting for who they rooting for, and I think they escalated to make it so much more crazier.
Hmm.
I just think as far as so, it's so small. Like the circuit is kind of small, and as far as the music and selling records, like honestly, as females, it's almost like a decline. So therefore, I just think that the focus really is on the music and just trying to do what you do. Me, I just worry about music. I don't really care for that because I just know like if you and someone is not really friends, I don't if someone doesn't actually do something to you, I don't really consider that beef. Beef
Hmm.
is when somebody is like really have put their hands on you and done something disrespectful so crazy, then we got beef. I just figure like it's just it's a tough game and everybody is trying to make sure they're in the spot that they want to be in, and sometimes with that it calls for slick talking or saying whatever, and it's a part of music. I just feel like there's a line it should draw, and I mean with the women. So just be fly, make music, and I just keep it moving. I don't even really register too good with that. I get so tired of even people talking about it because I feel like if they start talking about it, it won't be as much. I mean, they got to do, and everybody could just keep it moving. And you got fans. This one, she got fans. She got fans. Everybody's fans could help promote them. We get so caught up with, the one thing like with my album, my last album, the Amazing album, it was one of those things where it was so caught up in like who's beefing with who, it kind of everything I did, I couldn't really promote the album because that's the only thing they wanted to talk about. And it was
Mm.
kind of frustrating because we're like here to talk about my new album and it's like this record and everyone wants to know the female beef in hip hop. And I was like, really, I don't care. It was like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to talk about that because it's just like, it goes on and on and on and on. And I just think if some of the, the media and the blogs and the outside people and everybody else just stop talking about it. I think the women will just like keep on making music and don't even really care too much. It's not until you step out of pocket and to that we have a problem, And I think it's just gonna always be that. I mean, it's always with guys. It's just always something like that. And unfortunately, it is what it is.
Do you think, and because you've been in the game for, like I said, for over 14 years, do you see female hip hop evolving? Do you see it's in a better space today as it was, a decade ago? Or do you feel like it's declining?
Well, I mean, I feel a couple of years ago, I felt like it was declining. I feel like now it's just there's several new female artists that are out, but I don't feel like they're getting the exposure and the shine opposed to when I first started it, or when it was like really, a big wave, and there was Missy, and there was E, there was all these us, and there was, these big labels. I feel like now it's a small little opening, and everybody's trying to squeeze through that crack to be open. I don't really see huge platforms for them to be exposed.
Mm.
You hear internet, it's like internet artists, and you hear from a video or a viral or something, but it's still not given the gigantic platform that when I started that's being happening now. I think that's one of the reasons why, that I think that's one of the reasons why the magnitude of it is not, the impact of it is not so big because of that. I think it's some dope new artists that's coming out, and I think these girls are just new and trying to find their place, and nobody's really giving them like the stage to really perform or do it on. I don't really see a lot of, collaborations and big records with, the artists, and just to make that movement look like extreme. I think that's the thing.
Mm.
And it's so much talent, and sometimes the talent gets hidden because everybody's either beefing or nobody really is caring to to see. And I think that's one of the, like, the things why it seems such a decline, because I mean, if you take some of these artists that's out or that's coming out, these new artists that are dope and that are just doing their thing, I think if you put together like the great records and you give them a big platform and a bit more exposure, then hey, female hip hop, female artists will be directly in the game. But if you don't open that door and give that, then they still trying to crawl all around and try to figure it out.
Hmm. Trina, you went from being a major label artist to doing it independently, and that's a lot of people are doing now. And then it seems as if you have a lot of benefits, you know, both financially and creatively, to do music the way that you want to do it and on your terms. With this new album, and I know you said that, you know, it has that very melodic and very R&B flavor with it. What can we expect? Because, you know, we love the song F Love, and we want to remind everyone that's listening to get the single right now on iTunes. But what can we expect of the music video?
For the song you said, I'm sorry.
Yes, for the F Love music video.
Hmm. I definitely would say it's kind of different. It's a story, and it's real simple, but it's real detail. And I don't want to like kind of give hints about the story. So when you see, this is the first time I ever shot a video like that. So to me, it was a different kind of setting, which I liked, and I'm just excited. I'm just happy about it. I want to see how it goes, because I've never shot so much dialogue of just like, like just in a video with a storyline. So I'm just really excited. I want to see how it turns out. And I'm happy about it. It was different for me. And I think with the album, it's just a lot of versatility. It's melodic. It's a lot of melodic. It's really melodic. It's a lot of energy. It's feisty. It's mature. It's just real tantalizing. I think I would say, just you could tell that I'm in a different place. You could tell that I think different opposed to the first album or the second album. I think you could tell that at this album it's like I find myself, and I think that you be able to tell that through these records, and you'll hear a lot of vulnerability and a lot of emotion and I think a lot more understanding. And then, that's the thing that matters most to me with this record. And I mean, that's the thing that I'm really most excited about, because I've never had that much control to be able to do that, and to have the team, like, for them to appreciate that being done, and I've done it myself without the label or the force of anybody.
When can we expect the album, and do you have a title for the album?
Well, I haven't titled yet. I usually like to title the album when I'm almost close to finishing, because I don't know what mood I'm in. I have a couple names we probably played around with, but I don't know. Yeah, I haven't. Nothing came to my mind that's like striking to where I say this is the one. So I'm just still, as I record, as the emotion set in, as I feel a certain way, whether it's my cockiness or my vulnerable side, I'm just trying to like figure it out to see where I want to go with the title. The album. We're looking at like around the beginning of the year.
Okay.
I'm excited for that. I'm just really excited about it. I'm gonna drop a few more records and visuals, so the fans could really be involved and really see, the movement and just the control of me. Like when it's independent, yeah, it's a different genre. Independent, which is a good thing, because I've signed with a major label my entire career, and I've learned so much, and I've done my thing, and now it's time. Like, opposed to having a third party, you kind of cut the middleman out, and you make more money for yourself. And I mean, everything that I'm doing, I know how to do. I've learned that throughout my career doing it. So all I got to do is just make music. And I think that's just a smart thing. I guess in most artists that, that have been with a major label for a while, and you realize that you're doing exactly the same thing that they're doing, you know how to figure it out, and, work and put your records out and shoot a video and, work it and make it work.
Most definitely. Trina, first of all, we want to thank Trina for being here for so long. And we talked about so many different things. But Trina, the last time you were here, we were talking about Tiny Tonight, you being a part of that show. What can we expect in regards to television or any other ventures you have for the next coming months or for 2015?
Oh wow! Yeah, that was a really amazing show. It was just I'm definitely talking about some TV. It's in the air. I'm just trying to definitely make sure what I put out there is what I want out there. I definitely want something that's very interesting and something that's definitely going to show the side of me that I think most people don't really know. And I'm excited about that too. I'm taking my time a bit with it because TV is totally different from music videos, totally different. So therefore, I just want to make sure I'm completely ready. And I'm excited about that though, because TV is just one of those things that I think is just refreshing. And I think for me, like right now in my career, it would totally be a refreshment. And I just want to make sure what I do is how I do it. I just want it to be like the best, and I just want it to be real entertaining and real. I just wanted it to be Trina, and I just want everybody to understand and get to see that. And so I'm just being real careful about what I decide to do.
Whatever happened with Tiny Tonight?
Well, Tiny Tonight was a spinoff. It was, I guess it was a spinoff from the Family Hustler show.
Mm-hmm.
And we picked up the next episode, and I don't know. I think they were trying to kind of like figure out how we were going to keep the cast, or I don't know if they wanted to bring in like a different cast member every week or something like that. I'm not really too sure about it with that, but I mean, I thought it was really a cool show. I loved just the concept and just the direction. It was just real sweet, and I don't know. I just knew from the spinoff that it was pretty good, and who knows.
Well, Trina, we appreciate you being here for the second time. Excited about the new single. F Love is available on iTunes right now. So make sure you guys head on over there and purchase the single. And the new album will hopefully be coming out at the top of 2015. Trina, thank you so much for being here. We hope that you'll come back when the album comes out.
Oh, I would definitely come when the album comes out. I would definitely come back to visit you guys, and I'm so grateful, thankful for you always showing me so much love and always so much support. And I appreciate you and all the fans. Get the single. It's on iTunes right now, featuring Tory Lanez. Make sure you check out everything I'm doing. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Trina Rockstar with 2 R's at the end. And on the website, trinaforever.com. And make sure you guys look out for my new album. It'll be out top of the year, and I'm excited about it. RNG, Rockstar Music Group, that's the label. So, make sure you guys check it out.
Trina is doing a lot, and since we're talking about the single, we're going to jump right on in and making the KEMPIRE Radio exclusive premiere. Here is F Love.